right. So well, I don't think you listen to the news, right? The whole point is you watch your Yaron Brook show so you don't have to listen to the news. So let me just note that the Trump administration fulfilled one of its promises, which is to release all the JFK files, all the secret files that prove that the CIA killed JFK. RFK has been waiting for this with a bated breath. He is convinced that his uncle was killed not by who we think, but by some devious conspiracy. Anyway, hundreds of pages of old, files that have been kept secret all these years. I have no idea. Well, I know why. Well, I'll tell you in a minute why they've been kept secret, but they were released. And guess who killed RFK? JFK. RFK is still alive. Who killed JFK? Well, if you really interested, you can go on Twitter and you can scan the Twitter responses. The thoughtful, investigative journalism that is happening on Twitter, and people have really analyzed these new documents and really looked carefully and read through it and found the kind of all the connections and connected the dots and figured this out. The answer is to who killed JFK is, well, if you know Twitter, you know the answer. The Jews. Of course, it's the Jews. I mean, it's the Jews using Israel and Jewish CIA agents who really have mixed alliance with Israel, but it's basically the Jews. It's pretty stunning to see this online. Repeated by numerous people and retweeted. And of course, now it's all garbage and it's all made up stuff and it's all complete and utter nonsense. But it just doesn't fail. They never fail. They never fail to live up to their, very low standards. Any challenge, any problem, anything that is going out there in the world that is inexplicable, that we don't really have a good explanation of. How could it be that an individual killed JFK? That can't be. It must be. I mean, why would somebody do that? There must be a deeper reason. I can't remember. JFK was going to do something to the Jews. He was going to do something to Israel. Israel needed him eliminated. So they did. It is the Jews. So whenever you've got a conspiracy, whenever you've got something going on in the world that you just don't understand, then the answer is always the same. The Jews did it. So from now on, every time you ask me a question about something tough going on in the world that is hard to kind of really comprehend, you don't even have to ask the question. The answer is the Jews. I mean, that's it. Why have the JFK files been, in a sense, not released for decades? Because there's nothing there. So the conclusion, at the end of the day, of everybody reasonable who's looked at the files is they don't teach us anything new about who killed JFK. We know who killed JFK. There's no conspiracy here. There's nothing new. The only thing that's worth hiding that has been evident in this release of information is the fact that if you read the files carefully, what you discover is that the CIA was pretty incompetent. Just a lot of loose ends, a lot of drop balls, a lot of erased tapes, a lot of conversations that were recorded, a lot of stuff that's it shows incompetence. And I think that's why, at the end of the day, because the conspiracy theorists always had this point of, well, if it's so obvious who killed JFK, why don't they release the files? It's 60 years now? What's to hide? And really what's to hide is that they were incompetent back then and they're probably not that much better anymore, even today. The CIA is just not a super competent entity. Certainly, yeah, lots of examples of that. But when you read some of the passages in the files, they just seem to have dropped the ball They could have, potentially prevented this. They had him under observation, and they didn't. They missed. They screwed up. They screwed up just like before 9/11. Easily preventable. They screwed up. Our intelligence agencies screwed up. And here, they're just a lot of concretes and they're names of people who probably would rather it not be disclosed that they're the ones who screwed up. So that's about it. That's all the reason why it was held up. There's no conspiracy. There's no, maybe it could be that ultimately the commies, the Cubans, the Soviets were behind it all, but there's no evidence of that. So for all intents and purposes, he was killed by God, I can't even believe I'm going to say this, a lone gunman. And what was it, his brother, Robert, wasn't he killed by a Palestinian? There's another Jewish connection, right? It's the Jews sent the Palestinians to kill Robert F. Kennedy. Something like that. There's a whole thing. All right, just wanted to get that out of the way, just in case you were really, really, really curious what new information came out with the release of all these new documents regarding JFK. I'm still waiting for the full disclosure of the Epstein files, Jeffrey Epstein, that Trump promised. That one has the potential to be more interesting and more relevant. Although, again, I doubt if there's anything really outrageous there, they won't release them. So I doubt we're going to see anything new. Nothing really outrageous came out in the trial of, I forget her name, his assistant / mistress. So I'm very skeptical about there's anything in these files that is that revealing about what people did or didn't do on the famous island.